Okay, in this video we're just going to go through how to take screen grabs and screen recordings on the DJI RC Pro, and I'm using the DJI Mini 3 Pro, but there are a few drones that you can use this controller with. So any drone you can use this controller with, it's basically the same setup. So what we're going to do is switch the drone on quickly, just leave a bit of clearance for the props obviously because sometimes they'll spin. And we'll switch our RC Pro on, but whilst we're doing that, a prerequisite for this, in the bottom of the controller, you're going to need to have a micro SD card in there. So we talked about this in another video, so I'll link to that above. And what you'll want to do also, make sure it's a recommended card that is fast enough, it's big enough. I'll leave some links to cards in the description, and also a video on how to format cards up in the corner. So if you're doing it for the first time, just make sure you kind of follow that, and then you should be all ready to go. And then once we're into the controller and we're all set up, you can see we've got our live screen going, so it's connected to the drone properly. And then what we can do is just drag down from the top, just like you would on your phone, like for the app drawer, the notification drawer. And then once you're in, you can see we've got a few options here. So we've got screenshot, and it's just like a pair of scissors kind of icon. If we click on that, it lifts away the menu and it'll do a screenshot for us. And if you want to get to that screenshot, you can click into your playback menu, and you'll see when we come in, this is the DJI Mini 3 Pro album. So effectively this is the SD card in the drone. But we don't actually want that, we want the one in the remote. So if we click onto that bit on app album, it's a bit fiddly. If you try and click onto that downward arrow, you should get to it eventually. And then you can see we've got a few options here, and then we've got a screenshots folder. So if we jump into screenshots, and then you can see here we've got our image, and the image for it, essentially it's got everything on it. So it's got the record button, it's got all the indicators like everything, GPS. So essentially it's just taking a screenshot of the UI and of what was in the frame at the time. So there's a few reasons you might want to do this, but essentially if you're just looking to record things, obviously you want to be using the card in the camera, but it's just a way of getting a full readout of what we had on the screen. And then the same for, if we jump back again and go back into our drawer, we can also do the same with screen recordings. So if we jump into this one, it's going to come up and say, whilst it's recording or casting, sorry if you can't see that, essentially I'll read the message out to you, but it's basically saying anything you do on the screen is going to be captured. It's recording everything. So if you're logging into your DJI account, for example, it's going to show you typing the password into the keyboard. So just make sure if you're using this and you record with this, before sharing it, just make sure you're not sharing any sensitive information like passwords and things like that. So we can hit start now, and then you'll see just at the bottom of the screen we've got this this recording icon here. Tells us how long we've been recording for. We've got this stop button there as well, and you can see it will just record whatever's going on here, so you can move bits about. We'll press stop. How much you can record again will depend on how much you've got in your card in the remote. So if we jump into playback again, we'll just have a quick look at that. We have to jump across again. Annoyingly, it doesn't save what you've looked at in here, which I do find a bit irritating. But if you jump into that again, if you can, it's a bit fiddly. There we go. We're into that, and now you can see it's created a new folder in here called Movies, and our Movies folder now has got this in here. So you can see again we've got the full UI, everything there, and it's got our people there, and then eventually you'll see like my hand come down just to show that it's a video, and everything's there. So it also works for the menus as well. So if you're screen recording, you can jump down and do sort of different things whilst it's still recording. So there's some kind of uses for it. You know, it's got it does have its uses. And if, like I say, a few people would sort of ask me if that's possible and how you do it. And yeah, that's it really. So if this has helped, please give the video a like. If you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe.